And today I want to talk to you about the topic, the title of this video. Can you fix an avoidant partner? I get this question actually quite often. Look, Adam, what are the odds of really fixing my avoidant partner? Why don't they just fix themselves? I get that a lot too, okay? I want to have this conversation with you because a lot of you are banging your head against a wall and it feels like you are alone in the fight and you have to do the fixing. Now, a lot of you are in that because you think you have to do the fixing. A lot of people with attachment issues, in fact, all people with attachment issues, the reason you have attachment issues is you never learn to cooperate with somebody else during a conflict and actually solve problems together. This is why so many people with attachment issues have very low vasopressin bonding with everybody around them. Vasopressin being the bonding hormone that you release when you solve problems with other people. Most people with attachment issues, it doesn't even enter their mind to say, how can I properly collaborate with somebody else to get the results that we're both looking for? That's not what people ask. People don't ask me, Adam, how can I properly collaborate with my boyfriend to get the results we're both looking for? That's not what people do. No, I get a ton of emails, DMs, comments every day from people that say, how can I get him to believe in attachment? How can I get him to start being more loving? How can I get him to do the work? Keep in mind, what is avoidant attachment style? It is a trauma response from infancy about people forcing them to try to do things. It's people trying to make them do things. If you are trying to make him do, if that's your mindset, if you are endlessly trying to make him do, it doesn't mean you're manipulative, it doesn't mean you're exploitative, it doesn't mean you're being harmful. You might have the absolute best intentions in the world. Adam, how do I get him to accept a free bucket of diamonds, right? That's really what you're trying to say. Understand, his entire attachment style is designed to prevent anyone on the planet from making him or getting him to do anything. And therein lies the problem. Emily, glad that you're in here. Good to see you. Matt, how do we become more avoidant? I'm anxious, just feel like being avoidant would make life better. I get that question a million times. And back when I had anxious attachment style, before I became secure myself, I asked exactly that question, right? You start to look at avoidant people and you're like, oh, man, like the grass is so much greener over there. How do I go over there? How do I build quality? Like that sounds so much better over there. And I understand that temptation, Matt, 100 times. I do. In a false dichotomy world where your choices are only anxious or avoidant, yes, it feels at the moment, probably quite often to anxious people, like, man, it would be so much easier to become avoidant. And interestingly, nobody who's avoidant is like, man, it'd be better to be more anxious. Nobody really does that, I'll be honest with you. Being anxious is very frightful and painful, and you are robbed of agency. So it feels like anything would be better than this. However, the answer necessarily is not to become more avoidant. It's actually become more secure. There's not like I have to reach secure. It's not like anxious is here, avoidance here, and secure is no, it's not a blend of the two. It's completely off the scale. Anxious and avoidant are over here. Line, secure attachment is over here on its own. Completely different. Build secure attachment, Matt. That's honestly the answer. Become more secure. My last 3 girlfriend situationships were avoidant. It seems like they were so much happier. They're not happier, they're dopamine binging is what it is, and they have a stronger sense of agency. And so their nervous systems are a little bit different. But they experience an overwhelming amount of pain and stress, the same as you do. It's just that yours is drawn from helplessness, and theirs is drawn from existential fear. And they won't even call it fear. It's different. But becoming more secure, that is really the answer. Becoming more secure is actually the answer. Christine, so glad to catch you live. There couldn't be a better time. I'm glad, Christine. Here I am. And the replays are always available too. So here I am to help. As a former avoidant, the grass definitely isn't greener. See, here we go. But yeah, being anxious never felt appealing. Yeah, being anxious, it's being stripped of agency. So you're helpless and you're trying to convince other people, what buttons do I push? How do I make you happy enough that you will give me what I need? And it's not like I want to rob you. It's I'm going to give you 10 things and I just want one. I will overgive to you because I know I'm at a lower point. You have all the power. Please just help me. That's the anxious person. It's the supplicant, right? The supplicant, please. I'm dependent. I'm begging. That's the anxious component, right? The avoidant component is like, well, I'm surrounded on all sides by zombies trying to bite and eat me, and I'm locked in a fortress with lots of guns, and my job is to constantly craft new ammunition and harvest my own food, and I can never let anyone in. And that's avoidant people look happier because they at least are like the hardened, grizzled battle veterans, and they look like they have agency. And they look cool on the outside, but on the inside, they're like, I hate my life, and if it's just an endless battle to survive one more step, and for what? There's no meaning and no purpose. Generally speaking, that's the division between the two. They're both suffering. It's not that one is better or happier than the other. It's just the pain is different. I want to help him. I'm not sure how I can. He's also a very close person. I'm going to talk in here today, Emily, about what to do differently. This whole concept of fixing an avoidant partner or getting him to do X, Y, or Z. Even like, I got my horse to the trough. How do I make him drink? That's usually a lot of what the questioning comes down to. Thank you. I'm really trying. Matt, no issues, no problem. I'm here to help. I don't know if you've signed up for my free newsletter yet. I send out like 3 times a week. I send out free information in my newsletter. It's on my website, adamlanesmith.com. It should be linked down in the description below as well. But on my website, if you go on my website, adamlanesmith.com, there's a resources tab. There's a free attachment styles quiz in there. There's the free newsletter in there. There is so much free value in that resources tab, you guys. Click in there, take the attachment style quiz, sign up for the free newsletter. Everything is available in there, okay? That can begin this process. I want to make sure you guys get that initial momentum to start building. Archeon, good to see you. What should someone do if they think their kid has anxious attachment? Work with their child about that and probably engage an expert to start resolving that issue too, because the kid got it from somewhere. Matt, will being more secure help me stop attracting and being attracted to avoidance? Absolutely. Being secure will stop you from being attracted to anybody who's not secure, quite frankly, because you're going to say, well, that's a damaging behavior. I don't really want that in my life. I actually value these other things so much more. You're not going to hate people who are insecure. You're just going to be like, no, thanks. That's not where I want to go. That's actually going to lose me what I'm trying to build. Right? Securely attached people have a calm nervous system so they can pass up opportunities that are not aligned to their long-term goals. They're comfortable with that. Healthy, secure people attract people who are also more healthy and secure. What's an alternative to daycare? Honestly, building a different family structure and system that actually reinforces what you're looking for. Sometimes that means downsizing from where you are. Sometimes that means one person is to drive extra hard at their career while the other person stays home. It can be quite a lot of work. It can be quite a lot of work, but a lot of people also make it work. No judgment on single moms or anybody who have to use daycare because they have no options, but there are things that can be done to make this work, okay? There are things that can be done, typically. Again, no judgment, but it's an important thing. Back to the avoidant topic, you guys. Back to the avoidant component really quick. You cannot make an avoidant person do anything. You cannot trick them. They are smarter than you in tricks. You cannot manipulate them. They are better than you at manipulating. You cannot get them to do something. They are pre-programmed not to let you get them to do anything. The moment you start playing a game with an avoidant person, they are already better than you at the game. That's just how it works. Avoidant attachment style is designed to prevent them from ever being taken to a place they don't want to go. And that includes places they don't know what's on the other side or places they don't know if they want to go. They are pre-programmed. They are better than you at this game, and playing the how do I get him or how do I get her to X is already a losing game. You have already lost. If you play that game, it activates all of their worst defenses. You confirm that you are their worst fear and that you are an enemy, and then they start programming and fighting against you. And they may not leave, but they now see you as a threat that they have to track because you tried something. Okay, you are now North and South Korea, and you have fired a wild missile over the border and then said, haha, oops, and now they have to track it. Now you are a threat, potentially. So the whole framework, and people don't mean this. When they ask me, Adam, how do I get him to watch a video? Adam, how do I get him to have a more intimate relationship with me? Adam, how do I get him to build emotional intimacy? You can't get him to, or her. You can't get them to. The answer, always, the answer is this. Go to them. Offer them an opportunity. Like this, okay? In my book, Slaying Your Fear, I talk about offering the two hands. I would love, personally love, to have a relationship with you like this, where I am giving you this and this and this and this. I would love that. This is what I would love to give to you. For that to happen, here is what I would need from you. This is what I would need. Here's what it looks like. Here's my needs. Here's measurability. Here's why, so you understand why it's important to me. Here's the benefit actually of how that's actually good for both of us. This is not a manipulation. It's not a sleazy, fast-talking, used car salesman tactic either. It's, no, this is what I would need. This is how I'll benefit. And this is also how we both will benefit back to you. And this is how this is going to help me turn around and give you this. This will enhance my capacity and desire even to give you this. And then you get all of this. Can we do this? Are you willing to do this with me? And the other person says yes or no. They might negotiate with you. I don't know how to give you those things. Okay, no problem. If we find a way for you to give these to me and you understand them and then you're willing to, and I can give you these, can we do this? Well, sure, I'm willing to learn that. Okay, here, we can watch these videos from this guy online, right? Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. He talks about negotiating in good faith and loving connection as a couple and taking care of each other's needs. Can we watch a couple videos? You see if it resonates, right? You don't get somebody to do things. You help people see an opportunity and ask them if they'd like to join you in that opportunity. You invite people to join you. That's what you do. That is really an honest, open discussion between human beings. And that is not something an avoidant person is really used to. They're not used to calm, ethical persuasion. And again, persuasion is like a dirty word, like you're trying to rob them. You're like, hey, look, I want to give you all of this. And in return, I would like this. Yes, I am definitely going to benefit. Here's all the benefits, open-ended. Here, everything. Let me open my books to you. Here's everything I'm going to get from that. And here's why I like it. And here's how you're going to benefit as well. Can we do this? This would be so incredible. Can we do this? And you offer that to them. And what do avoidant people do in this circumstance? Well, they don't even argue with you. They usually go like this. They turn one eye, their nostrils flare, and they listen. And they're very confused and concerned because this is new. They do something that a wild animal does. They watch you like this, eyes wide, one eye, to narrow their perspective, and then to leap away if they need to. That's what they do. But they listen. Then they ask maybe a question or two. And they probably can't answer you on the spot. Like I'm saying here, like they'll give you yes or no. They'll probably say, I really need more information. I kind of need to think about this. That's actually part of what you're offering them, is the ability to think clearly and calmly and be peaceful, right? That's part of what you're offering. So then they step away, they breathe, they think, they come back. You might ask them again, hey, have you had some time to think that over? I'm not pressuring you for an answer right now, but it is on my heart, and I would like to do that. So where are you at with that? Calm, breathe, ask, invite, okay? The power if you're a female partner, the power of the feminine is not to leap on top of, tackle, wrestle to the ground, and force somebody to accept your love. It's to invite. The power of the feminine is to invite. The power of the masculine is to also actually kind of invite and lead, right? To present a vision, to go to. The power of the feminine is to invite into. All of this, notice none of this is to get someone to do something. How do I get him to? How do I get her to? No. She's not a button. You don't push button, receive bacon. You don't push button, receive outcome. You don't grab the horse's head and shove it in the horse trough to convince it to drink the water. Hey, I have incredible, delicious water. You are a wonderful horse. I would love for you to continue living, and you are very wonderful to me and very important. So I would love for you to drink this. Here it is. If you're ready, here it is. Do you have any questions about it? I'm here with you. I really would love for you to have this water. right? That's how you get your horse to drink. That's how you get your avoidant person. Hey, this is going to sound like a pitch, and it kind of is, but I'm going to make it from a place of good faith. I know that there's a better way to have relationships that's more fulfilling for everybody. I haven't practiced it myself yet, but I'm learning about it. It's something I actually would really love to share with you. It's going to take some adjustment for us to get there. And for us to go there, we'd have to have a couple conversations and change a couple things. I'm really curious to see how it could go, because it's the everything I've heard is it's a very fulfilling, peaceful, bonding, loving, and pleasurable experience for both partners, and you can build lifelong fulfillment for everybody. I'd really like to explore this with you. Is this something that you're open to? I'm not going to pull any fast ones on you. I want you to make your own decision. And also, it's something that is very important to me. I'm very curious about it, and I really want to study this, but I can't really do it without a partner who's on board as well. So is this something we could maybe explore together? And before you even answer, are you open to seeing a couple videos about it and kind of learning about it, thinking about it, and then do your own research apart from me? Again, I'm not trying to sell you on it, but I would love to experience it with you and explore it with you. Can we do this? Avoidant people are amazing for exploring ideas, chasing opportunities, looking at new investments, being curious, and nobody uses this. What is it? What do we do instead? Hey, babe, are you bored tonight? Do you want to watch a video? I'm just kind of thinking, there's this video about relationships and thinking and feelings, and, it might just help us. Yeah, I would jump out a window. I'm the relationship guy. I would jump out a window if somebody pitched a relationship video to me that way. Right? Hey, look, I'm going to share an experience with you, and it's something I can only share with you. And I think it's actually fascinating as I've done some research on it. It's so much joy and peace and pleasure. And I know this sounds up front like quite the pitch, but it's something I've been studying. I would love to share this with you if you're open to it. Do you have a little bit later so we can watch a video and then maybe think if this is something that would be pleasurable and joyful for us to experience together? Well, now I'm intrigued. Joy, pleasure, peace, fulfillment. Sounds like a lot to promise, but when someone offers you like a free diamond mine, you don't just say no. You actually go look and see if there's a free diamond mine. So, okay, sure, I'll watch a video with you. Hey, you know what? It's 5 o'clock. I could probably do that at 7 o'clock. Can you pick a video that's maybe like 15, 20 minutes? I don't have a lot. Sure, I can pick a 15, 20-minute video that can do that. See how that goes? Very different framework. Very different framework. So I want to present that to you and make sure you guys know that. This sounds like me trying to tell a man I'm good enough for him. You definitely need to present that there is availability and opportunity in a relationship. If you are going to be with an avoidant partner, if you're not going to just leave, if you're going to try to make things work with an avoidant partner, you need to come to terms with the fact that they don't understand that close emotional intimacy has a benefit. They don't see that. Feels like bending over backwards for someone who's not even willing, then leave. 100%, just leave. Honestly, just leave. But most people won't. Most people won't because they're emotionally invested in a partner. They actually think that partner is a pretty good person who just doesn't understand the value of emotional intimacy, which is most ethically avoidant people. They just don't understand. And therein lies the sad tragedy of it, is you're trying to offer them something they actually need and crave, but they don't have a frame of reference for understanding. You're trying to describe the color red to a person who's never seen the color red. Now, you can just leave, and you can, and some people do. Some people don't want to do that work, and that's fine. But also understand that if you are not articulating, and this is not at you, Christine, I don't want to harp on you, but in general, if you're not articulating your needs in a relationship, if you're not inviting, if you're not sharing opportunities, if you're not able to conversate about what you want, if it is an endless game of I will do things for them and they should figure it out, I do enough, you owe me, you're going to have to do that work somewhere. A lot of people who are anxiously attached get pretty mad. And this is, again, Christine, is not at you specifically. I'm just using this as a launching point to have this discussion that we need to. A lot of anxiously attached people get mad at me because they say, don't you realize how much I've already done? Why should I be the one that has to X, Y, and Z? And my point back is, well, yes, you've kept a tally sheet of the things you've done expecting X, Y, and Z. But number one, you've picked a partner that doesn't understand the value of the things you're looking for, and they don't understand what you're asking. And number two, you've probably engaged in this entire conversation and relationship without a clear framework for expectations. So what would you like to do about that? Do you want to leave and find another avoidant person? Would you like to give it a shot where you are? Because here's the thing. When you have this conversation with the person, all you're doing is inviting them in one conversation that took me about, 90 seconds? It's 90 seconds of work in a conversation to invite them into an excellent relationship. Now, if they want to join you in an excellent relationship, fantastic. Now they're going to step up and be a proactive member of that relationship. I've communicated it, and that's why he's no longer communicating. Boundaries and expectations. And that's the other piece of this, you guys. If the other person says, no, I don't want that with you, and I'm not interested, and you will stay on your corner, then this is not a relationship. This is not a relationship. You don't have a relationship. You have a human that treats you like a blow-up doll, and you sit in the corner until he wants to pick you up and play with you. Then he puts you back. And that's not a relationship. So not only is this conversation absolutely vital, if you're ever going to be with a securely attached person, you have to have this conversation because they expect it. This is how securely attached people identify each other. But for you to have this relationship conversation with an avoidant person, you invite them and then they respond. And now they must become a proactive member of the conversation and of the experience. And now they have to help. Now they have to push into it. Now they need to be doing work as well. And both of you working together to build an amazing relationship experience. And if they say no, you need to say, well, thank you for being very honest with me. I appreciate that. It doesn't sound like you're looking for a relationship then at this time. I very much am. And so with all the difficulty that this brings and the sadness that I have, I am going to have to move on into a different relationship with another person who is looking for what I'm looking for. So thank you for being honest with me that you don't want this. That's helpful, and I appreciate that honesty and that directness. I wish you the very best. Let's have a conversation about how we're going to disentangle ourselves from this relationship and now split up. And that's why it's not really you doing all the work. That's why it's not you doing all the work. You invite and have a conversation. And if they're willing to do that with you, amazing. What I'm teaching you is secure behavior. I'm teaching you to act secure in a relationship. And most people who are anxiously attached balk at that and get upset because they think I'm demanding that you do all of the catering that an anxious person does, all of the codependent traits and behaviors, plus secure attachment on top of that. And I'm not. You need to have these very clear, direct, focused conversations of invitation and then respond honestly to exactly what they give you. If they tell you, yes, I want that, and then they sabotage it and do nothing, you need to follow through on what they've done, the message that's actually sent. My friend, Dr. John Delaney, brilliantly says, behavior is a language. What they do is telling you something. By the same token, if they say no, you need to follow through on that. No, thank you. I don't want an invitation into an emotionally connected relationship. I'm happy with where things are. I like you being a pleasure object in my life that I can just pick up and discard when I'm done. I like to keep it that way, and thank you for the invitation, but no thank you. Okay? Acting secure means you end the relationship. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. That's not what I'm looking for. So we are going to have to end the relationship here. No hard feelings. I'm not angry at you. I'm just grateful that you finally told me the truth. Cool. Now what do we do to disentangle this? Do I need to move out? Do you need to move out? Do we have to just sever it? What's going to happen? How do we handle this breakup? That's what you do. Honey, what do you do when you realize you're avoidant, dismissive, manipulative? When you realize you're avoidant is dismissive, manipulative, avoidant, you have this conversation. You honestly have this conversation. This is what I am. This is where I am. This is what I want us to share. I am inviting you into this because this is what I'm going to be doing. I am going to be having this experience in my life I am inviting you formally and lovingly to join me on this. Please come share this with me. No? Okay. Well, then here's what's going to happen next. No anger, you guys. No furious anger, no vengeance, nothing like that. There's no reason for it. Just time to move on. This is why I tell people it's crucial not just to hyper-focus on one human being at a time. The research is very clear that if you are hyper-focused on one avoidant partner as the sole human in your life, you are doomed. Because your nervous system will actually get worse. You need to be building family and friend connections. If family, if possible, if not friend connections. You need to be building connections outside of just your partner on purpose so that you have that resilience and you can say, okay, this is where we're at. I'm thankful that you told me the honest truth. It's hurtful and sad, but I'm also not angry at you. I'm grateful that you've told me this. Now here's what we need to do to move forward because I'm not willing to accept the relationship you're offering. That's it. Christine, big realization I have is it's my fault for offering love unconditionally when he didn't ask for it and he hasn't done anything to prove. That's exactly. I expect to reciprocate. 100%, Christine. 100%. There is no such thing as a need to offer love unconditionally. And I say that with all faith in love, and I'm not telling you to charge somebody a price tag either, but sustainability, capacity. I will always love you, but my ability to love you will change, and the type of love I have for you will also change. I may love you as a distant friend rather than a close, intimate lover and partner based on how you are going to give to me, because my capacity will change. I can't endlessly give to you forever and ever and ever and ever without ever receiving my basic biochemical neurological needs. Biochemical neurological needs are a must. Your emotional intimacy, your bonding hormones. Oxytocin is a vital need that women have. Men too, but women especially for your nervous systems, for your GABA levels, for your estrogen, for your fertility, for your resilience against heart attack, disease of all kinds, immune systems, for resilience against autoimmune disorders, for resilience against stroke and cancer risks. Did you know that women who don't experience high levels of emotional intimacy in trusting, connected relationships, but instead struggle with emotional isolation and emotional starvation have higher rates of cancer? Did you know that? So your ability to give love is very much dependent on your ability and what you're receiving from the other person, your capacity. All of this is normal, you guys. So Christine, when you say earlier, no judgment on you, but when you say this feels like endlessly bending over backwards to care for the person, that's not the secure attachment approach I'm trying to offer you. That's your brain trying to blend anxious attachment and endless codependency with me also trying to layer on top of that brutal honesty. There's the rub. There's the friction. There's the difficulty. You're not meant to be endlessly codependent and caretaking and frankly just catering to avoidant people. I get that comment on most of my videos, as if people think my job is to sit here and tell you to cater endlessly to avoidant people forever. Have you seen my video about why giving him space will never make him better? Have you seen my materials where I talk about how just reinforcing their avoidance cycles without boundaries just allows them to be re-avoidant and allows them to avoid you and ruins both of your lives? The biggest process when I work with couples in coaching usually is first teaching the anxious person to stop chasing. And then they say, well, how dare you put all the effort on me? Don't you know how exhausted I am and how much I've done? And I say, that's the problem. That's the problem. You're overperforming. The reason you have no capacity to pause and have a conversation is because you're overperforming and you think you're doomed if you don't. And it's not your fault things are this way, but you need to shift. You need to be appropriately bonded to other people so you're not desperate and terrified and starved. And you need to be offering from a good place a legitimate, emotionally intimate relationship. And if they say no with their words or their actions, you need to follow through. I am never going to tell somebody you should stay indefinitely with your avoidant partner no matter what they do, and you should just offer them every day another intimate relationship forever and ever and ever, never get your needs met and ever cater to them. That is the opposite of what I teach. Ruthlessly the opposite of what I teach. I want you to have secure, bonded relationships, you guys. I don't want you to be exhausted. I want you to be fulfilled. I don't want you to have these conversations like I just said every single day. I want you to have that conversation once or a couple times, and then it's joyful. I want your avoidant partner to look at you like this with concern, but then start watching and start learning and start growing and start being excited and start sharing with you a little bit more, and then start really investing in you, and then start using your emotional language as you are using their measurable exact language, and then start listening to you, and maybe not fully collapse into it, but they are now watching you and pursuing you and talking with you and opening up to you, and they're exploring those connections with you, and they're saying, wow, I've never slept so good as I do when I'm here with you. Wow, I really enjoy these conversations you and I have. I just feel so at peace in your presence. What can I be doing for you to make sure you're also taken care of in this relationship? And yes, that will sound transactional, but that's how they think. And that's what this should be. It's not martyrdom. I don't teach martyrdom. I will oppose martyrdom to my last breath in this, self-martyrdom in this. But I will always tell you guys that you need to have a conversation. Even if sometimes you get a little bit frustrated at me for telling you that. I will continue telling you that because it's the only way out of the pit that you guys are in. Someday you will have to have those conversations with somebody, so you might do it now. You might as well do it now with the partner you have, as long as they're reasonably open to it. And if they're not, then you need to honor that too. And that might mean ending a relationship as it currently stands. Some people don't take you seriously until you're ready to end the relationship. And that doesn't mean casually make threats. That means let them know, if this is not going to change, it is a big enough deal to me that I will have to change this or end this relationship. And I don't want to do that. I really don't. But I will have to. So one last time, are you willing to do this with me? Very honest. Very, very, very honest. All right, you guys, I hope this has been helpful. I really hope this has. This is the biggest framework shift for most people with attachment issues. Not trying to get other people to do things or feeling like you have to play games and push and beg and plead and then also add secure behaviors on top. Guys, has this been helpful? Let me know, yes or no, down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. But this is the framework. This is the framework shift. Working with somebody else, not upon them. Whether that's from a supplicating place where you're giving, trying to earn approval, to try to earn points and then cash in those points, the anxious person, you're scoring points to cash in points for prizes, or the avoidant person where you're constantly fielding attempts at goals and kicking them away so that you don't become debt-ridden to somebody else. It's not about that. It's not about any of that, you guys. This is about building a relationship together, co-creating a relationship together. Okay, this is helpful. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad to hear that. Christine, thanks for letting me pick on you just a little bit. You're a good sport. I appreciate you. And I know your heart sounds like it's very much in the right place. It's just that anxious stuff, it creeps up on you. And you start to feel like you have to do everything. And that's exactly what I wanted to oppose here today. You don't have to do everything. You can't do everything. That's not a relationship. That's you being a poodle, jumping through hoops and hoping you get a pat on the head. And that is not fair to you. It's you stopping, standing up, being a human being and saying, hi, I'm a human being. You are too. Here's a relationship I'd love for us to share. No more hoops. Can we do this together? Yes? Awesome. Let's do it. Let's follow through on it too. No? Understood. I appreciate you being honest with me. Okay, here's what we're going to have to do differently then going forward. My capacity is changing. That's it. That's it, you guys. Yes, Marion? Yes, Marion. Love the name. That this is going to be available on replay. In fact, usually 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 people watch the replay. So hello, everybody watching the replay. It's there. Please remember, everybody, just really quick, free resources for you on some of this. If you're hearing this and it sounds like something you need, please remember my website, adamlanesmith.com. It should also be linked down below in the description. Resources. Go to adamlanesmith.com, click resources. There's a free attachment styles quiz on there based on my years of work in the field of psychology and work in attachment and everything. It's built in there, the free attachment styles quiz. It's also it's called the attachment assessment. And then free newsletter. Free attachment newsletter is in there as well. About three of them per week come out with tips and resources and insights exactly like this to help you break free from these relationship patterns that are keeping you stuck. Remember, free attachment resources on my website, adamlanesmith.com. So I need you guys to remember those. I need you guys to use those. Drop your questions below. I'm sure you have them. It has been wonderful sharing this with you guys. I will be back again Tuesday at 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. Tuesday at 11 a.m. U.S. Central Time. I will see you guys there. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves.